so that the town and its representatives are not complicit in these activities and false statements during the permit process. All affidavits, satellite photographs, and wetland maps dating back to the current ownership of the property must be researched and investigated by the town. Any findings must be forwarded to the APA, DEC, New York Environmental Protection, and the federal EPA Wetlands Protection Section. If any of this information is proven in any way, then the permit is legally flawed and incorrect. If there are legal consequences tied to these actions, any permits would be deemed invalid and may constitute evidence. This is especially serious given the APA permit, a state jurisdiction, may have been deceived and or lied to. If the town takes no action, then we will. We will forward this information ourselves to the appropriate agencies. We will also make those agencies aware that this issue was brought to the town's attention and that the town failed to act, possibly becoming duplicitous in a fraudulent application.
I don't know how long ago my battery died.
We're not getting here
Sort of
anywhere
duplicitous
here
again?
I did.
right now, but I want to say my piece. Hi, my name is David Waddell. Many of you know me. I'm a bordering property of where Carson Power wants to share energy, store energy. The corner of my property is less than 700 feet from where the units will be. My house is less than a mile from where the units will be, on the mountain road side of the Tamarack Swamp. Due to the big uproar Carson Power has caused, my life savings that I put into my home will depreciate. With Carson Power in such close proximity of my home, yet my taxes increase by $100 bills yearly. I'm not a firefighter and never will be. I greatly appreciate them. But I do know that when a fire company reaches its maximum capacity, they have absolutely no choice but to prioritize. If or when, but from more I hear about battery storage, it sounds more like as to when they catch a fire, our fire department has to respond and watch because it's very high risk with all the side effects battery storage fires create. Who's left to respond to the small family house fire on the other side of town? Wood burns naturally every day, and the smoke has limited side effects. Plastic and rubber and electrical components are no way healthy for my two daughters, 3 years old and 14 years old, and my son 7 years old, less than a mile away, playing on the yard set on a Sunday. Carson Power rep said himself at the town's first public board meeting, I was one of the 5 that was there, meeting to that the fire is not the problem, it's the cleanup afterwards, because it scatters contaminants. That was their representative that said that. It doesn't seem like there was much concern about the town of Northampton's water supply coming from the Tamarack Swamp directly across lots from the Carson Power. My land was logged before I owned it, and the wood was taken out on the landing where the units are going to be, leaving skitter ruts as waterways directly to the town's wells. I wasn't alive in the late 1930s, early 1940s, but I've heard stories about the night watch on the Conconville Dam during World War II, because it was very high risk for a terrorist attack that was worrying the devastation of New York City. It's not just the reservoir that could be affected by contaminants. Within a week, that water reaches New York City. It scares me because Carson Power could potentially be a terrorist magnet, and I live less than a mile from it. Bottom line, we need to protect our swamps, town, state, and most important, family. Shut this down. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Naple. I'm a resident of the town of Northampton, and I'm also a member of the planning board of the town of Northampton. And before you throw stones, I don't know if you heard earlier, but the vote of the planning board was 4-1. I was the one who said no.
Good job.
Congratulations.
I don't expect you to know that, and that's a problem that I've had because I've looked on the town website where they supposedly post meeting times and minutes, and the vote to approve or disapprove. Yeah, you got it right there.
Right, those are missing.
That was the beginning of December, and there was a lot of discussion, a lot of things brought up, and people haven't been able to see that because we went all through December, all through January, and we're already 10 days into February. The minutes aren't posted.
Correct. That's what our sign is. And we showed up last week for the supposed planning board meeting because it was still listed on the website after being told by multiple people here there was no meeting. But we don't know who to believe, the people that tell us or the website. Nothing's ever updated.
And there was no session.
So
And there was no session.
We need some better communication within the town.
Absolutely.
So I have to say, I think you folks have been disadvantaged by not having minutes available. This talks to transparency. And transparency is what lets us know what's going on. Can I just ask for a non-scientific understanding of how many people here are not in favor of the VEST unit? In your case, I'd like the town board to just take a look.
And they can stop it.
And they can pass a moratorium.
Okay, thank you so much.
The board can stop it tonight. If they agree, the board can stop it.
That's right, they can pass a moratorium.
I understand.
Let them talk.
I understand.
People want a moratorium.
I've heard, and I haven't heard, in the interest of transparency, I haven't heard the idea, you may talk to some other board members who might say that they felt required to approve this because Carson Power had crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's and submitted all of the outside information. That's not true. The town board did pass the zoning regulation. The zoning ordinance is our protection. If you look at the uses for a power plant, it requires a special permit. What that means is if they crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's, if it was a normal allowed undertaking, they could just go to the code enforcement officer and get a permit. But the town board, in their wisdom, said no, they need a special permit. And the special permit is issued by the planning board. And the interesting thing about a special permit is it doesn't require crossing T's and dotting I's. It gives a deliberation power to the board. So if they think that something is not quite right, if it doesn't sit right with them, if they can make a statement and say, what's this doing for the people of the town of Northampton, they can say no. And I don't know if all the other planning board members knew that. So I'm not sure if a moratorium is possible. I would hope it is. I really don't want to see the best unit here, but I think if everybody speaks up, maybe we can sway some minds. Thank you.
Thank you. Is he gonna snatch the mic from you too? Oh no, he didn't snatch the mic from you the way he snatched the mic from me.
Steve Maple?
Naple.
Naple. Yeah. Thank you.
I have a question. Did you receive any of our emails that we had forwarded to Cassie? I forwarded a bunch of emails to Cassie to be distributed to the planning board last week. Did you receive any of those?
No.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, good to know.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Allison Frazier. I'm a resident of the town of Northampton. First I want to say this is really awesome, even though it sucks at the same time. Like, I'm glad that we're all getting educated about this and that we come together and, unify over this issue. I want to address the board and ask that some changes be made. I know that you legally did all that you needed to do to address the community, but for example, you said you issued the first meeting about this on the Facebook page. I just discovered the Town of Northampton Facebook page like 3 weeks ago, and I was looking for it because I just wanted to know if my trash was going to be picked up when we got a snowstorm. So many people are not on Facebook, many people are not on all the time. Nobody's getting the Leader Herald. Like, we just had a new LLC, we have to register it in the Leader Herald. It gets posted online. Even, no one reads that, nobody knows about that. So, just in consideration of the community, maybe there could be a better effort made to alert us, especially when something like this comes to the table. My biggest concern when I heard about the battery storage project is the fire response. As we heard Supervisor Groff say, there are 15 volunteer firemen in the town of Northampton. And the reason this was a main concern for me was because when, in November of 2024, we had a small brush fire. It was like 100 by 200 square feet on a little corner of our property. No houses were in danger of burning down. Thankfully, our neighbors saw the smoke and called because it was down our driveway where I couldn't see it. My husband was at work. And it was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So everybody knows what happens around 2:30 on a school day. It's bus time. So we had 3 fire departments, Northville, Edinburgh, and Hope, show up to handle this brush fire because many of our volunteers were driving bus at that time. It took about 2.5 hours to put this tiny little brush fire out. I mean, it wasn't super tiny, but it was small enough compared to a house burning or, you know, a large forest fire. And I just thought, how are we going to handle if something happens at one of these battery storage facilities? So then, you know, we've heard all about the Warwick, hold on a second, the Warwick fires. So I just did a quick Google search to see how many personnel are needed to fight one of these. And it said at the December 2025 lithium-ion battery fire in Warwick, it involved the Warwick Fire Department, the Town of Warwick Police, Orange County Emergency Services, and Hazardous Materials, hazmat teams. But there was no known number. It was many, many people. Firefighters had to remain on site 24/7 for several days to monitor the site because they don't extinguish, and we heard very clearly they will not extinguish these fires. They're gonna let them burn. And it requires special treatment, hazmat, police, fire, like we talked about earlier, closing down Route 30. So my question is, how are we gonna handle that? And is that a reason enough that we can issue a temporary moratorium just to update the laws on fire response? Because I personally don't believe our community can handle this. If this catches fire, and I know it's low risk, but it's high consequence, and then somebody's house is burning at the same time, or it's time for school drop-off, or whatever else is going on that the members of our community are doing in addition to being our very special firefighters, how are we going to handle that? So that's my reason for asking that we put a pause on this project and reconsider before we move forward.
I'm not much of a public speaker. I'm the kind of guy that just wants to be left alone. Do have a question for the board. Is a legacy of toxic chemicals the legacy you want to leave behind for your children and grandchildren? Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Deneen. I live in Edinburgh, and this affects the whole lake. My question is for Carson Power. I'm not going to do anything repetitive. Everybody's asked questions, but now they're starting to look into the Warwick fire, and one of the main causes they're saying was moisture infiltration due to severe weather. 2004, we had 7 tornadoes hit down in the Adirondack Park, and you're gonna build something like this on wetlands? And to anybody who has a home that's near this, and that poor gentleman that wasn't notified, call your insurance company too and see if you're gonna have to put your liability up or if they're even gonna cover you anymore. And are you gonna cover him if that happens?
I just want to make this clear. The board can stop this tonight. They can stop it. John, I know you. You're a believer in God. Don't do this to my kids. Is there anybody on this board that's really willing? What's the benefit? Everything I've heard tonight is there's none. There's a little money. We don't know who's getting it. You guys can stop this. We can move on. Let's show them, no, Northville's not taking this shit. Get the hell out of here. You can stop it. You know how much respect we have for you for that? Jim, come on, man. You're getting older. What that man said about your legacy, you could do something right. Maybe your hands are tied, but whatever. Your situation might suck. You can stop this. Even if it killed you, stop it. You know what I mean? Please.
All right, I'm going to thank everybody for coming tonight. We're only going to go through once.
Let's just make a motion. Make the motion.
My name's Jim Fletcher. I'm a resident of Northville. And a couple of questions. I have some background in development. I know site prep and permitting process, engineering. It's expensive. We have 4 industrial parks in this county. 2 claim to be shovel-ready. That means they already have their infrastructure. They also have professional firefighters. I don't understand